Hi, I'm Breakthrough with Eleni, and today I wanted to do a video on something that I think a lot of us struggle with, and that is mom guilt. Well, maybe parent guilt, because I'm sure some dads have this as well, but I'm a mom and I can only say how moms feel, I guess, and from my clients, a lot of whom are women, what they struggle with. So, mom guilt, what is it? It's that feeling, and I'm sure we know it, of feeling guilty about pretty much everything that is around our kids. Not doing a good enough job, not taking enough time, even to the point of blaming ourselves for what is going on with our kids and thinking that we're responsible for their happiness. And I did a live recently on in my private group about feeling responsible for everyone's happiness and how to combat that. And I think a lot of mom guilt stems from that deeper belief of not being good enough, which I think a lot of us have as well. So personally, I had my son very, very early. He was born at 26 weeks. And, we talk about the conscious and unconscious mind. This is where it really comes into play. And I didn't even realize it at the time because consciously, obviously, I knew none of that was my fault, having a premature delivery, right? Unconsciously, I realized later when I started to do this work on myself that I had an unconscious belief that I couldn't protect him, that I couldn't keep him where he was supposed to be. And I had this really deep feeling of blame and self-blame that really affected me along with that past trauma, which then started to affect me. As we know, the present has to do with the past, right? Which started to really affect me when I brought him home from the hospital, finally. And then that started to come back recently. He's now 14, and it started to come back recently with, he was diagnosed with ADHD as well as some learning disabilities. And, you start to have that, maybe I should have realized it sooner. Why didn't we get on top of this earlier? Is he going to have a hard life? Blah, blah, blah. And it really, really, really threw me for a loop. So what do we do, right? It's that whole idea of perfection and not being good enough and not being a good enough mom or maybe not being a good enough wife or partner or whatever. So I feel like we need to really figure out where that mom guilt is coming from. And like I said, a lot of times it's not good enough. It's that needing to be perfect. So is it going into other areas of your life, right? And the other thing is to, when your kids get older, is be honest with them. I try to be honest with my son about how I'm feeling about things and to make him realize that I'm an actual human person. I'm not just mom. And having some really good, honest, open conversations, I think is helpful. And 100% take the time for yourself. And I know a lot of women, and especially when I'm doing a first consult with somebody, they're hesitant to sign up with me because they feel guilty about taking time for themselves, taking money for themselves. Whereas, if it was their child's hockey, they would 100%, take all my money, take all my time, and that's fine. And, they always say you can't give from an empty cup. So you have to be your best self to give to other people, right? And it is not selfish. It's actually the opposite. So making things a non-negotiable. So for me, my workouts are a non-negotiable. I have to do them every day, or my walk, or have some time on my own. Taking that time for yourself, figuring out what you want. Because if you don't do that, what happens, right? You get resentful, you get annoyed, your fuse is shorter. So it's really, really important to take that time for yourself and to figure out where it's all coming from and to give yourselves a break. Your kids want a happy mom, not a perfect mom, right? People who are perfect freak me out, right? We want to have all of our flaws and show our kids that that's okay. And I feel like this whole concept of mom guilt is fairly new. I don't remember, a lot of us were 70s and 80s kids, and I just don't remember parents being so involved and I don't want to say caring so much, but my parents never, force me to do my homework, or I don't know, it was just sort of an easier time. And I don't know if parents had that same type of guilt around the same type of things that we do, right? I feel like parents today have a lot of pressure on them to put their kids in everything and make sure they're busy all the time and they're having the best life. And I mean, I was just sort of left alone, which was awesome. Not that my parents didn't care about me, but we were kind of forced to take on this independence that was actually really cool. So I think when you're letting go of mom guilt and allowing a little more flow into your relationship with your child, it can be beneficial for everyone, right? Nobody likes to feel micromanaged, and kids really need to have that independence and take the initiative. And so you're bored or so you failed something, that's just a great learning experience, and it's not a reflection on us as a parent, right? And I think a lot of us tend to put that on our kids, right? That sense of, oh, if my child fails, I fail. And that's a bit of a burden for everybody, right? And you can't be responsible. So, I often tell my clients, you can give someone all the tools they need, right? And then it's up to them what they're going to do with them, right? And I know as kids are little, it's a bit different, but I have a 14-year-old, and, if you forget to study for a test and you fail, then that is not on me. And your kid is going to want to put it on you, right? Why didn't you remind me? Blah, blah, blah. And then you get this horrible feeling of like, oh my God, my kid failed. And, it's that you hate to feel like your kid's being disappointed. But at the end of the day, these are emotions they need to deal with, right? And so I think by being able to release that mom guilt, you give them that autonomy also, right? And it's just better for everybody. So I think that us being able to step back and let our kids experience what they need to experience, having those honest conversations, is really, really powerful for everybody. So mama, let it go, right? Do your best, but remember, you're still you, and you're not just a mom, right? You're a lot of things to a lot of people and to yourself, and you don't want to lose yourself. So give yourself those non-negotiables every day that you need to do to feel good and to feel whole, and step back from that mom guilt, because it's not serving you. It's just not, right? So see how that goes, and just even being aware of that stuff I find can be really, really powerful. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, my YouTube channel, for lots of other videos. You can also hop onto Facebook and join my private group if you search for me, and follow me in all the places. On Instagram, I'm at Breakthrough, THRU Eleni, as well as on Facebook. Have a great day.